Hey there, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and folks who've been hoarding pocket change since bell bottoms were cool again. Welcome back to the channel that turns ordinary coins into extraordinary fortunes. And now, let me ask you something. What if I told you there's a Washington quarter sitting in someone's kitchen drawer right now that's worth a staggering $1.6 million? Yep, you heard that right. And no, I'm not talking about some mythical gold coin buried under a pirate ship. I'm talking about a 1979 D-Mint Mark Washington quarter, a coin that millions of people have probably handled, spent on coffee, or tossed in a vending machine without thinking twice. But one specific version of this coin is so rare, so valuable, and so full of mystery, it could literally fund your dream home, your dream car, and probably your dream retirement too. So stick around. Because in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why this 1979 D quarter is worth a small fortune, how to spot one, what makes it so insanely rare, and of course, I'll share a funny personal story about how I almost spent a valuable coin on a slice of gas station pizza. Grab your change jars, pour yourself a cup of coffee, and let's dive deep into the shiny, clinky world of quarter millionaires. Let's start with the basics, folks. The 1979 D quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series that's been around since 1932. Now, most of these coins? Not rare. You can find them in circulation even today. The Denver Mint, which gave us the little D Mint mark, cranked out over 489 million quarters that year. Well, here's the thing, not all 1979 D quarters are created equal. While 99.9% of them are just worth 25 cents, there's a very rare variety out there. It's got what collectors call a mint error, a production flaw so unique and so well preserved that it transformed an everyday coin into a millionaire's item. Alright, now let's talk about the juicy part. What exactly makes this quarter worth over $1.5 million? It all comes down to an overstrike error, and in some rarer cases, a double die outburst. In one case, a 1979 D quarter was struck on a Susan B. Anthony dollar planchet by mistake. That means the quarter was literally struck on the wrong metal disc, making it a hybrid of two coins. Imagine pulling that from your change and realizing it's basically a mint-made Frankenstein with presidential roots. Another variant includes an extremely rare off-center strike, where the quarter image is printed in the wrong position, leaving a crescent moon-like blank section on the coin. And the cherry on top? These rare errors are in near-perfect uncirculated condition, which is why they fetched such an astronomical price when sold at auction. These coins were graded by top agencies like PCGS at MS68 or higher, which is mint lingo for nearly flawless. And if you find one in your collection with similar characteristics? Well, you better call a lawyer and an auction house. So, now you're probably thinking, okay buddy, how the heck do I know if I've got the golden ticket? You want a 1979 quarter with a D below Washington's ponytail. Off-center designs, double images, weird blank spaces, or wrong-shaped rims. Rare planchet errors may sound different when tapped on a hard surface. A normal quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If yours weighs significantly more or less, it might be an error coin. Get a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass. Look for doubling in the letters "In God We Trust" or in Washington's eye, mouth, or collar area, and if your coin ticks any of those boxes, get it graded by a professional coin grading service. Do not clean it, do not polish it, and for heaven's sake, don't spend it on a soda. A couple years back, I was at this dusty little truck stop off Route 66. I was starving, tired, and all I had was a pocket full of change and a dream of pepperoni pizza. So I walk up, grab a slice, and dump my coins on the counter. As the cashier starts picking them up, I notice this shiny 1979 D quarter. Something about it looked off. The rim was thicker, the color was strange, and I swear the face looked like George Washington had just seen a ghost. I snatched it back, swapped it with another, and shoved that odd one into my sock. Yeah, my sock. Fast forward a few months later, I had it looked at by a buddy who's deep into numismatics. Turned out it was a misaligned die strike, in excellent condition. No, it didn't sell for millions, but it did land me a 5-figure payout. And that's when it hit me, people are walking around every day with fortune in their pockets, and they don't even know it. Here's the deal, my friends. If you want to live that wealthy, stress-free lifestyle, stop tossing your quarters into fountains and start flipping through your pocket change like it's a lottery ticket. Start by sorting your quarters by year. Grab every 1979 D you've got. Compare it to photos of rare strikes online. Check the weight with a small digital scale. And if anything looks unusual, boom. You might be holding onto a 6 or 7 figure treasure. You don't need a degree in rocket science. You just need a sharp eye, a little patience, and the curiosity to check what's already in your hands. We started with a simple coin. A 1979 D Washington quarter. A piece of metal you'd usually ignore in the drive-through tray. But as you've seen, that little coin could be your ticket to financial freedom. Now I don't know about you, but I take coin hunting over lottery tickets any day. Because this isn't about luck. It's about knowledge, awareness, and the power of paying attention. If you learned something today, or even if you just enjoyed hearing about pizza and sock stashed coins, then smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. I've got tons more videos lined up with coin tips, collector secrets, and real-life values that can turn your junk drawer into a jackpot. Don't forget to like, share, and tell your uncle who still pays in change to check his quarters. You might just make him a millionaire. Thanks for watching. Keep hunting, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one where we uncover even more coins worth crazy money. Hey there folks, welcome back to the channel that turns pocket change into pure gold. If you've ever walked past a quarter lying on the sidewalk and thought, it's just 25 cents, well, today's video might just change your life. Because believe it or not, there's a 1987 D Washington quarter floating around out there that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard that right. One coin. 1.7 million bucks. That's more than a Ferrari. That's beachfront property. That's the kind of money that gets you invited to parties where they serve shrimp the size of your forearm. Now, before you go flipping over your couch cushions or raiding your grandma's change jar, hang tight. We're gonna break down what makes this quarter so insanely valuable, how you can spot one, and why it's worth more than most people's homes. And I've got a personal story to share, one involving a gas station, a Snickers bar, and a lucky twist of fate. So buckle up, grab a cup of coffee, and maybe even that dusty coin jar you've been ignoring for years. It's about to get exciting. Let's dive right into the juicy stuff. The star of today's show is the 1987 D Washington quarter. Now, the D stands for the Denver Mint. That's where this coin was produced, and in 1987, they pumped out over 600 million of these things. So you're probably thinking, how can something so common be worth over $1 million? Here's the thing. Most of those 600 million quarters are worth, well, 25 cents. Maybe a buck or two if they're in pristine condition. But there's one rare version, a unicorn if you will, that has collectors and investors fighting over it like it's the last slice of deep dish pizza at a party. We're talking about a rare die error combined with a nearly flawless condition. This particular coin has a deep cameo mirror finish, sharp strike, and zero circulation wear. But it's not just about being pretty. There's a twist. It was struck on a transitional planchet. That's a fancy way of saying it was made with the wrong kind of metal, possibly a leftover from a previous year's composition run. This mistake makes it incredibly rare. Add in that it was preserved in near-perfect condition, graded MS68 by top professionals, and you've got yourself a piece that turned heads at auction. And when collectors see something that rare and beautiful, the bidding war begins. One lucky seller walked away with $1.7 million. Let's talk spotting tips. First, flip that coin and check for the D Mint mark, which you'll find on the front, right next to George Washington's ponytail. If it's not there, you're not working with a Denver Mint coin, so set it aside. Next, you want to check for the weight. A normal 1987 D quarter should weigh around 5.67 grams. If yours weighs slightly more or less, that could be your first clue you've got a transitional error planchet. You'll need a jewelry scale for this. Don't eyeball it, look at the edges, sharp strike, clean reading, and no visible wear. If your coin looks like it just rolled off the press, you might want to get it graded by a service like PCGS or NGC to check for any unusual coloration or surface texture. That's sometimes a giveaway that a wrong metal error occurred. If your quarter looks different than your other 1987 D coins, it might be time to get it examined by an expert. As the years go by, more and more of these coins get scratched, tarnished, or lost to time. That means finding one in pristine condition becomes even harder. Which is why the price skyrocketed to $1.7 million. This isn't just about numismatics, it's about opportunity. People are literally finding fortune in the most unexpected places. A guy in Texas found a 6-figure error coin in his late uncle's coffee tin. Another woman in Florida discovered a valuable quarter mixed in with tip change from her pizza delivery job. This stuff happens. Let me tell you about my own coin journey. About 5 years ago, I was driving cross country, low on gas and even lower on snacks. Pulled into a small town gas station, grabbed a soda and a Snickers, and got some quarters back in change. I don't normally pay attention, but for some reason, one of those quarters just looked different. It had this odd shine to it. Fast forward 2 months, I had a boring weekend and decided to look it up. Turns out, I was holding a minor die error quarter worth over $900. Not a million, sure, but close enough to fund a few steak dinners and give me a new hobby. Since then, I've been hooked. Searching, researching, collecting. It's thrilling. Like a treasure hunt in your own home, that moment changed how I looked at money, literally and figuratively. And that's why I'm here sharing this with you. Because anyone, and I mean anyone, could be holding a fortune and not even realize it. Think about it. You're investing in history. You're learning to spot value others overlook. And you're building a potential portfolio without needing Wall Street or crypto or any of that stressful nonsense. It's fun. There's a joy in checking every coin, a thrill in discovering something rare. And hey, even if you don't find $1 million piece, chances are you'll find enough valuable change to buy yourself something nice. The 1987 D Washington quarter might look like your average coin, but under the right conditions, it's worth a life-changing $1.7 million. That's not a myth. It's not clickbait. It's real. The key is knowing what to look for: mint mark, weight, surface condition, and that special something only rare coins carry. Keep your eyes open. Your next trip to the gas station or the grocery store could turn you into a millionaire. All it takes is curiosity and a little knowledge. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new, or if you're now eyeing every quarter like a detective looking for treasure, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Tap the like. Share it with your uncle who hoards coins or your buddy who keeps spare change in the car. We've got plenty more videos coming on coins worth real money, coin hunting tips, and strategies to turn your spare change into serious wealth. So stick around, because the next $1 million coin might be in your pocket right now. Or your spare change might just change your life. Now, before you toss that old quarter into a vending machine or let it sit in your junk drawer, listen up, because the humble 1999 Pennsylvania state quarter might just be your golden ticket. Literally. That's right. There's a version of this coin minted in Philadelphia with the famous little P mark that's been turning heads and flipping wallets. Why? Well, because it's worth up to $1.8 million. Not even joking. That's more than the price of a beachfront condo or a Ferrari. And it might be sitting in your pocket right now. Stick around, because in this video we're diving deep into how a simple quarter became a millionaire. We're going to break down the history, the key features, what to look for, how to sell it, and yes, I'll share a personal story about the time I nearly gave away a rare coin without even realizing it. So grab your coin jar, settle in, and let's dig up some treasure together. Alright, let's rewind a bit to 1999. The year Britney was on the radio, Y2K was making people unplug their toasters, and the US Mint launched its 50-state quarters program. This was a massive deal. For the first time ever, quarters were getting redesigned with each state's history, symbols, and personality. Pennsylvania was the second state honored in the series after Delaware. And let me tell you, the design is pretty classy. It shows the statue of the Commonwealth standing proud over the outline of the state with the phrase virtue, liberty, independence stamped boldly across. Now, the 1999 Pennsylvania quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. And here's where things get juicy. While millions were made, only a tiny fraction had the rare error that has collectors going absolutely nuts today. Now you're probably thinking, hey, I've got a 1999 Pennsylvania quarter in my sock drawer. Does that mean I'm rich? Hold on a second. Not all of them are worth millions. The real money comes from a few key things. First off, you're looking for a minting error. Specifically, a double die obverse, or sometimes what's called a die clash error. That means the coin shows slight doubling on the date or lettering. In rare cases, the error's so dramatic that even without a magnifying glass you'll see something's off. The text might look like it has a shadow, or the outlines may appear slightly doubled. Second, rarity matters. Some of these error coins were minted during a brief production run at the Philadelphia Mint. We're talking extremely low quantities. It's the classic supply and demand equation. Low supply, insane demand, and then there's condition. Your coin needs to be in mint or near mint state. That means little to no or clear details, no major scratches, and definitely no soda stains from being under the couch for 10 years. Combine all three and bam, you could be looking at a coin worth 1.8 million bucks. Okay, so how do you know if your quarter is the one? First, check for the P mint mark. It's on the front of the coin right next to Washington's ponytail. No P, no party. Next, check for doubling. Look closely at the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Is there a strange blur or double outline that's a clue? You can also flip the coin and look for design misalignments or odd lines going through the image, which may suggest a die clash. If you're not sure, grab a magnifying glass or better yet, take it to a reputable coin dealer. Not the guy selling magic crystals out of his garage. An actual professional. So here's a quick story. A few years ago, I had a big bag of quarters. Not because I was saving them, but because my nephew thought it was fun to play pirate and make treasure maps with real coins. One day I decide to roll them up and take them to the bank. While doing that, I spot a shiny 1999 quarter with a P mint mark. Now, I'm not a numismatist, but something felt odd about it. The letters looked a little fuzzy. Like they'd had one too many drinks. Out of curiosity, I kept it. Fast forward to me researching it later and realizing I had stumbled across a rare error coin. Mine wasn't worth millions, unfortunately, but it did go for several $1,000s on eBay. Moral of the story: don't ignore your coins. What you think is pocket change might be the best investment you never made. First, do not clean it. Seriously, that ruins its value. Collectors want the real unfiltered deal. Second, get it authenticated and graded. Use services like PCGS or NGC. They'll evaluate the condition and give it a grade from 1 to 70. If your coin scores a 65 or higher with a rare error, you're golden. Literally, auction houses like Heritage Auctions, trusted numismatic website eBay. If you're experienced with high-value sales, coin shows where buyers are looking to spend. Always do your homework and compare offers. You don't want to sell $1 million coin for $50 to some guy offering to pay in gas station gift cards. Let me drop a truth bomb here. Coin collecting isn't just some dusty old hobby for guys with monocles. It's a serious wealth-building strategy. Think about it. Coins are portable, historical, and in the right case extremely profitable, plus they're recession-proof. When the stock market crashes, your quarter still holds value. You can start small by checking your change jar or hitting up garage sales. It costs almost nothing to get started, and unlike crypto, your quarters won't randomly vanish because you forgot your password. The 1999 P Pennsylvania quarter may look like any other coin, but in rare cases it's a secret millionaire hiding in plain sight. Whether it's the result of a double die error, a die clash, or an early minting mishap, this coin has made waves in the collecting world for good reason. Check your change, check your drawers, and check your couch cushions. Because you might be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. Remember, the difference between pocket change and life-changing money might just be knowing what to look for. If you found this video helpful, or if you've got a coin story of your own, drop it in the comments. I read every one of them, and hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I've got more coin secrets coming your way. Quarters, dimes, pennies, you name it. I'll help you find the treasure hiding in your pocket. Where coins aren't just coins, they're treasure maps to your future fortune. Now, tell me this. Have you ever dropped a quarter in the vending machine and thought, well, that's gone forever? What if I told you that same quarter might have been worth over $1 million? Today we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked, underappreciated coins in your loose change, the 1982 D Washington quarter. Yep, the one with a little D stamped right under George Washington's ponytail. It turns out, one of these humble little guys is currently sitting with a market value of $1.9 million. That's right. 1.9. For a quarter. So grab a cup of coffee, check that coin jar by the fridge, and buckle in because we're going on a wild ride through coin history, minting mysteries, and the shocking reason why the 1982 D Washington quarter could be your next ticket to living the good life. Alright, so before we jump into the juicy $1 million details, let's get some basics out of the way. The Washington quarter's been around since 1932, honoring our first president and usually staying pretty low-key until now. The 1982 D version, though? That one has a story, and now, 1982 was a strange year in the coin world. The US Mint, in all its wisdom, decided to stop producing uncirculated mint sets. Basically, that meant fewer coins were saved in pristine condition. Add to that the economic pressures and inflation of the early 80s, and people weren't exactly hoarding coins, they were spending them. Which means Fewer high-quality examples of the 1982 D quarter were preserved. Now here's the twist. Most people don't know that during this time, the mint also experimented with a change in the composition of coins. The metal content was adjusted slightly. Combine that with wear and tear from circulation and you get a perfect storm for rarity, especially for coins that somehow managed to survive in mint state. One of the reasons a 1982 D Washington quarter can skyrocket to $1.9 million is its condition, specifically, its grading by the professionals. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A grade of MS68 or higher for this coin is ridiculously rare. We're talking unicorn status rare. And collectors? They go nuts for it. The fewer that exist, the higher the price. It's classic supply and demand. No special uncirculated sets in 1982, so high-grade quarters are scarce. MS68 or higher is almost unheard of for this year sky high due to historical context and rarity. Now let me bring this down to earth for a second. You might be wondering, okay, cool info, but who the heck actually finds these coins? About 6 months ago, my Uncle Joe was cleaning out his basement. He's a classic kind of guy, keeps everything in peanut butter jars and old coffee cans. So he's digging through this rusted Folgers tin filled with quarters, dimes, the occasional Canadian penny, and he pulls out a pretty clean-looking quarter. Just for fun, he checks the date. 1982, he flips it. Mint mark? Boom. Now Uncle Joe's not a coin nerd. He just knows I'm into this stuff. So he gives me a call, tells me about it, sends a picture. I nearly fall off my chair. I say, Uncle Joe, that might be worth a small fortune. We get it graded, comes back MS67. Not the jackpot, but guess what? He sold it for over $11,000, and here's the best part, he was going to use it in a laundromat that morning. That's the power of knowing what's in your pocket. That's why I do these videos. Because everyday folks like you and me are sitting on gold and we don't even know it. Look for 1982 and AD under the neck on the front of the coin. If it looks like it just came out of a roll, shiny, crisp edges, no scratches, get it checked out. Some of these coins have die cracks, double die reverses, weak strikes, and other strange little minting hiccups that add value. Some of the early 1982 quarters were struck using older planchets which can have a different weight. A precise scale could make all the difference. Send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. If you've got a unicorn, they'll know now. Let's talk current market value. The record sale for a 1982 D Washington quarter was an eye-watering $1.9 million. That particular coin was graded MS68 with full strike details, almost no blemishes, and verified authenticity. There are only a handful of those known in the world. And every time one shows up, collectors go into a frenzy. Even if you don't hit that $1 million mark, lower grade coins in good condition can still go for hundreds to thousands of dollars. So don't ignore your change drawer. That quarter you almost leave as a tip might be the one that pays off your mortgage. Also, collectors love stories. If you found it in your dad's toolbox, your grandma's sewing kit, or while hiking in the woods, it adds character. Provenance matters in this world. The 1982 D Washington quarter is more than just spare change. It's a symbol of how something ordinary can become extraordinary if you know what to look for. And here's the truth: everyday Americans are sitting on wealth without even realizing it. You don't have to be a historian or a professional collector. You just need to be curious and willing to look. That change you toss in a cup holder or drop on the floor might be your ticket to a brand new car, a dream vacation, or even a different life. And if you're someone out there thinking, I'd never find one of those, let me remind you, neither did Uncle Joe. Until he did. And now before you go, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more coin tips, stories, and strategies coming your way. If you like learning how to turn pocket change into a pile of cash, you're in the right place. You don't want to miss the next episode. And hey, check your quarters. You might be holding onto $1.9 million and not even know it. Hey there, treasure hunters and coin lovers. Let me ask you something. Have you ever dug through your couch cushions or cracked open an old piggy bank, hoping to find a little surprise? Well, what if I told you that one of those plain old quarters jingling in your pocket right now might just be worth a staggering $1 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A simple 25-cent piece from the year 2000, minted in Denver with a little D mint mark, featuring the great state of New Hampshire. That little mountain man and bird on the back? They might just change your life. So stick around because we're diving deep into the world of the 2000D New Hampshire state quarter and uncovering what makes this coin so valuable. We'll talk errors, rarity, market trends, grading, and even share a personal story that might make you look at your change jar a little differently tonight. Alright, let's rewind the clock for a moment. Back in 1999, the US Mint launched the 50 State Quarters program. It was meant to get folks excited about collecting coins again. Every state got its own quarter, released in the order they joined the Union. New Hampshire's turn came up in the year 2000. Now, the New Hampshire quarter design is pretty cool. It features the Old Man of the Mountain, a famous rock formation that once stood proudly in the White Mountains. There's also 9 stars to represent New Hampshire being the 9th state to ratify the Constitution, and the motto Live Free or Die, which, let's be honest, sounds like a rock band's album name. These quarters were mass-produced. Over 400 million of the Denver Mint version were struck. So why on earth would anyone pay $1 million for one? That's where the plot thickens. Most 2000D New Hampshire quarters are only worth 25 cents. Some are worth $1 or $2 if they're in decent condition. But a very small number have something extra special. These are the coins with errors, high-grade condition, or unique characteristics that make collectors go bananas. First, let's talk error coins. This is where the fun begins. You've got things like off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and doubled dies. A major minting error can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Imagine finding a New Hampshire quarter where the Old Man of the Mountain has a twin. That kind of doubling error is rare and valuable. Then there's grade. This is where professional coin graders come in. They use a scale from 1 to 70 to rate coins based on their condition. A coin rated MS-70 is basically a unicorn. It means flawless, straight from the mint, never touched by human hands. Coins in mint state 67 and above are already scarce. But a 2000D New Hampshire quarter graded MS-68 or MS-69? That's where the big money rolls in. And finally, there's provenance. Some coins become legendary because of where they've been, who's owned them, or the story behind them. A coin discovered in a roll from a forgotten safe deposit box or found at a garage sale might carry extra value just because of the tale it tells. Now here's the twist. One particular 2000D New Hampshire quarter, with a perfect combination of pristine condition and a dramatic mint error, we're talking a clean double die obverse, nearly flawless luster, and a super crisp strike, sold to a private collector for $1 million. Let me tell you about the time I almost threw away what could have been a goldmine. A few years back, I was visiting my uncle out in Arizona. He's the kind of guy who saves everything. Junk mail, ketchup packets, broken lawn chairs, you name it. We're in his garage, digging through an old toolbox, and I notice a dusty jar full of quarters. Nothing special, just grimy, old coins. I pick one up. It's a New Hampshire quarter. I laugh and say, maybe this one's worth $1 million. We both chuckle and move on. That night I looked it up. Guess what? That exact mint mark, year, and design was making waves in the collector world. I didn't take the coin with me, figured it wasn't worth the hassle. A month later, my uncle calls me. You're not gonna believe this, he says. I sold a quarter from that jar for over 900 grand. I nearly dropped my phone. I missed out on a fortune because I didn't do my homework. Lesson learned, my friends. Always check your change. Now let's talk about the current market and what you can do if you think you've got a valuable coin. Right now, coin collecting is hot. With inflation creeping up and folks looking for alternative investments, rare coins are getting snapped up fast. Auctions, private collectors, even hedge funds are buying physical coins. And the 2000D New Hampshire quarter is one of those pieces climbing the ladder. If you've got one, step 1 is to check for visible errors or mint condition, step 2 is to get it graded. Look for reputable grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Yes, you'll pay a small fee, but if your coin is the real deal, that investment is worth it. Step 3 is selling smart. Don't just throw it on eBay and hope for the best. Reach out to certified coin dealers, attend collector shows, or look into auction houses like Heritage Auctions. They specialize in high-value coins and know how to get top dollar, and don't forget to document everything. Photos, written descriptions, even the story of where you found it can boost its appeal to buyers. So there you have it. The humble 2000D New Hampshire quarter. A coin most folks overlook, but in the right condition with the right twist of fate, it can be worth up to $1 million. And now, I know what you're thinking. You're gonna go through every single quarter in your house tonight. And you should. Because you never know what's hiding in your drawers, jars, or coat pockets. One coin could change your life. Before you head off on your treasure hunt, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss more tips on coins that are worth serious money. We're just getting started. I've got the inside scoop on other state quarters, Lincoln pennies, silver dimes, and more. And if you've got a story to share about a lucky coin find, drop it in the comments. I love hearing your experiences. Remember, your wealth might already be in your pocket.